And Valencia counties. And Greg, it's great to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, and good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Well, as Frank said, the church issue with health orders is what you're dealing with a bill called the Terminator Bill. What is the Terminator Bill?
Well, the bill is a little bit more general than that. Basically, what it does is it allows the executive to go ahead and put in her health orders, but those health orders expire after 14 days. They can't be amended, changed, or continued without legislative approval.
Very interesting. I've talked to other members of the state legislature, and many have said, you know, we kind of goofed up a long time ago when we gave the governor, doesn't matter if it's Michelle Lujan Grisham or any other governor, but we gave the governor, the executive, all these powers that in an emergency, what was the reason for it? I can't remember the reason for it, but anyway, the governor has all this power to issue health orders like this, and her authority can't be challenged. And I know there's talk in the legislature about changing that. Have you heard the same thing?
Sure I have, and you know, the bill that I previously mentioned, already I've introduced it during the special session. It was just not heard, so I'll be revisiting it and introducing it in January, or some version of it. But I think what you're speaking to is that the health order in its current version, I wasn't there at the time that it was introduced, which is circa 9/11, 2001.
That's what it was.
I think that was more the idea of the purpose of that bill, and those broad sweeping authorities given to the executive, I believe, were never envisioned to entail a situation that we've encountered here in 2020.
So where do we stand, for those who don't know, with churches right now? We have a limited capacity, right? You can't sing. What else is there?
Well, we have, you know, those are the two big things. You know, we're at 40%, I believe, was the last number that was pulled out of a hat. To allow capacity to extend to within places of worship. At other points it's been no admittance at all into churches, or 25%, and I think they scaled it back from 50% one time. It's just kind of willy-nilly. You know, let's pick a number and let's decide how many people can go and worship. And I'm afraid I just don't believe that should trump our person's constitutional right, at least for this period of time.
Do you feel like churches can manage virus safety concerns with their congregation at full capacity, or are you saying that there's another alternative?
Well, I've always believed that the application of these rules has been uneven, and so I guess what I'm saying is that there just needs to be a little bit more local control, governing from Santa Fe, deciding what church A, B, and C of all different sizes, all different makeups, all different types of construction, you know, whether they have isolated rooms and things like that. Very difficult for them to pick a capacity number, which they've attempted to, and as I told you, was, you know, basically different numbers pulled out of a hat. It might as well be. I think the churches are much more equipped to make these decisions for themselves. A pastor of a church, a priest of a church, they are going to know their church better than anybody in Santa Fe knows, and so therefore they can decide their own capacities and what's safe. And I think they'll get you know, they'll have their capacities up to what is safe. And I think the practices themselves would be more safe. And so those two reasons, I think, the local control within the churches, suggestions rather than mandates from Santa Fe, are the more effective.
We're all grown-ups here. We want to be safe. We can figure it out, right? That's what you're saying. And I agree with that.
That's exactly right. You know, my dad used to say that common sense always applies, and I think that's what we're lacking a little bit of here.
So what are you hearing regarding any changes in health orders? Have you heard anything about anything that may, I don't know if she has a news conference scheduled today or not, but have you heard if there are any changes like restaurants, churches, all this stuff that's going on?
I believe she does have a press conference, or at least her officials. I'm not sure what level of conference it is today at 3. I don't, and I haven't heard any of what changes might come. I remain hopeful. I think, like all of us, that some of these restrictions will loosen to some degree, but that's part of the problem. You know, there has been no input from anybody outside of the executive to help determine what might be the best route for us during this time.
Hey, Greg, it's great to talk to you. Keep up the good fight, and let us know if we can help on our end. I'm totally supportive of this, and I think many New Mexicans are. And I appreciate your time today, and thanks for joining us. And I hope you have a good weekend.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me on, and enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend coming up as well.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
State Senator Greg Baca, let's go to bat for churches.
Yeah, well, somebody has to.
That's right. That's right.